Hello everyone! Today I'm going to share with you my 7 top tips on how to grow healthy long hair fast. Now my hair is pretty long right now and I do get commented on this a lot, and the usual question is, your hair is so insanely long, how did you grow it so fast? I wasn't even aware that my hair might be growing faster than someone else's hair because I wasn't paying attention to it. And then I actually did some measuring and I did some research into the average hair growth, which is apparently half an inch per month. So per year you can make 6 inches or 15 centimeters. And then I realized, also looking at old pictures from roughly a year ago, I realized that I had grown my hair about 30 centimeters, so about 12 inches a year. So just to show you guys, I have got a picture here from roughly a year ago. Because you can't really see well how long my hair is in this picture because I'm sitting, I include another picture where I am standing, and that has been a bit longer than 1 year ago. So my hair was still a bit shorter there. So we are talking currently about that much of hair going on here. And here I think we were roughly a year ago. As I said, I measured that. And then obviously I had some trims in the meanwhile. So that would have been maybe 3 to 4 centimeters would have been gone because of the trims. So I have to say the current length of my hair is actually too long for my liking. My comfort zone would be probably somewhere around here and not any longer. So the only reason I had it grow out that long is because always when I had bigger trims in the past and really cut off some length, I always thought it was a bit of a waste because there was literally nothing wrong with the hair. So there were barely any split ends, and I thought it's a shame to throw it off. So this time I am going to donate some of my hair. There are a lot of great charities out there who take donations and make out of the hair wigs for children who don't have own hair, might be due to cancer or to other reasons. If you want to do the same thing, you can look that up online. Here in the UK, the charity I found, for example, is Little Princess Trust, and I'm pretty sure you can find something in your respective country, or they might even take donations from abroad. So, but how did I get to this length actually? So I realized it must seem rather extraordinary to some people. So I thought I am just going to talk a little bit about what I do that I think could influence me growing my hair out so long. So this video is sort of how to grow long hair naturally and quickly. Disclaimer, I am neither a doctor nor a hairdresser nor anyone who has anything to do professionally with hair, so everything I'm talking about is my own experience. It might work for you, it might not, and to be honest, the root of this might also be genetically, pun intended, because I might be just genetically blessed with fast growing hair. Cool. But nonetheless, I've got 7 tips for you. So the tips kind of go really in 2 directions, or 2 categories. So one category is to prevent breakage, so you can keep the length you've already grown out. And the other one is to facilitate healthy natural hair growth. I am going to start with the prevention of damage because that is really something we all can do something about. We don't need any genetic prerequisites for that. And my first tip would be, do not wash your hair daily. Now, I would even go that far to say the more infrequent you wash your hair, the better for your hair. I wouldn't, however, go as far to say to never wash your hair. I know there's methods out there where people advertise to not wash their hair at all. I personally don't think that is very good for the scalp and also not exactly hygienic in my opinion. And I would say do wash your hair, but try to wash it infrequently. So I am at 1 to 2 times a week, and I do use natural and mild shampoo. The key to my hair care routine are shampoos without silicons and without the usual sulfites. You can find on my channel a video which is my winter hair care routine video, where I do introduce certain shampoos I use, for example, and also what I do for the aftercare and pre-care for every wash. My second tip for you is to use little to no heat. So that can start with using little heat for styling, so cutting down on the straightener or cutting down on the curl iron to actually have your hair dry naturally. What I find really helps for this is to work with your hair and not against it. So that means if you have, like me for example, rather wavy hair, which you can't really see now because it's just so long and it hasn't got any layers in there, and at least not till here. In summer I will have my hair air dry naturally and I have a rather wavy look, and I use specific shampoos, specific styling products to emphasize this look. And in winter, when I have to use the hairdryer, I use other specific shampoos which make it more smooth, more sleek, to achieve a straight look without having to use a straightening iron or anything. So this hair now has not been straightened and it is still fairly sleek and straight. So I use specific shampoos and specific styling methods. And if you want to have recommendations, again, you can look at my hair care routine video, which I specifically did for my winter hair care, and you'll find recommendations for shampoos and for styling products. My third tip is to use natural brushes and combs from a natural material. So what I use as combs, for example, are natural combs made from horn, and that one is already missing a tooth, but it's okay. So I got them actually before I became vegetarian, so now I probably would not buy them anymore, but there are some combs which are made from wood or from other environmentally friendly options, and they also have for me the great benefit that they don't send my hair flying all over the place. Especially in winter when I'm wearing knitwear, it can get a bit like statically loaded and it can fly all over the place, and that does happen far less frequently with these combs. In terms of brushes, I also try to use natural brushes. So these are, I mean, they do have plastic here, but the black part which you see, that is actually hair from boars. So these are natural products and they distribute the good oils from your scalp better to your ends and your lengths, because they can just better absorb these oils and just distribute this throughout your hair. Now I have to say, since my hair is so long at the moment, I also use tangle teasers, which are obviously made from plastic, just when I freshly wash them or when I really have knots, because that works just much better than these ones. So these ones are more for like when I really brush my hair out and I really do a brushing session on my hair. Again, wouldn't probably buy them anymore, having turned vegetarian. Alternatives could be brushes made of wood. So there are, for example, those big paddle brushes. I have tried paddle brushes from friends and they would always kind of get stuck, and it wouldn't go too well with my hair. But let's see, once I've cut it, I might get a paddle brush and try that out. Tip number 4 are protective hairstyles, especially when sleeping, but also during the day when you're just having a bad hair day, or when you're just the day before your weekly wash, or maybe it's just a bit windy outside, or you doing certain activities where it's not so handy to have your hair flying all the way around, like going to the gym or whatever. Especially this year in summer, I had to get a bit more creative with my protective hairstyles, because there was just so much hair to deal with that I could not always have the bun. And when I was wearing, for example, a hat, I had to work a little bit around. So I've got another video upcoming with protective hairstyles, which I will link you in the box below. I really rely on protective hairstyles because, as nice as it is to just wear your hair like this, sometimes it does get knotted, especially when it's a windy day or when you're exercising at the gym. So it is really better for your hair to have them actually in some hairstyles where they can't easily tangle. So when styling my hair, especially for the protective hairstyles, I obviously don't want the tools I'm using to damage my hair. So I'm using those kind of hairbands, and I have to say, most people say, oh, they're great, they never break. That is not really the case for me, because my hair is so thick, they break literally all the time. You can somehow, with a candle, you can basically just melt both ends and then put it back together if you're as lucky as I am. And this always happens when you don't have a second one with you, or on holiday when you don't really know where to buy the next one. So that is kind of a trick, how to fix them for a certain amount of time, but they usually break quite quickly again. So this is actually the one that has been now with me for quite some time. I'm really happy to have it still. So yeah, unlike usual hairbands, they break all the time, but I really have the feeling that they don't damage my hair, and they also don't leave those weird, you know what I mean. So when you just tie your hair up and then you just like have this kind of like mark from your hairband. So this doesn't happen with those, and they're really gentle to the hair. Tip number 5 is to do with really nourishing your hair. So I really rely on hair masks of any kind. In summer they are a bit lighter. They have, for example, yogurt masks, and now with winter upcoming, I really love oil masks and really soak my hair in oil, but also different and other kinds of masks. I'm talking a little bit about this also in my winter hair care routine, and if you're interested, I can also share some specific masks with you. So essentially I just make sure that my hair is really dunked in oil sometimes and really gets a good portion of hydration and is well nourished, which prevents split ends and breakage. So everything I've talked about so far is about preventing damage to your hair and protecting the length you have gained. Now we're going a little bit more in the direction how to actually grow your hair, how to facilitate hair growth. And the first one is scalp treatments. With scalp treatments, I mean products you put on your scalp, which then just help your scalp be healthy, and also how you treat your scalp, for example, with massages. When I was a teenager, I was actually crazy about growing my hair out, and I would read magazines which would deal with how to facilitate hair growth, what to eat, what to do. And one tip from those magazines was always increase blood circulation in your scalp. So literally giving yourself scalp massages, which I actually do to this day, usually always when I had a haircut, a major haircut, and I think, oh no, I want longer hair more quickly again, then I usually really scheduled it in. But also when I just oil my hair, I also oil not only the ends and the lengths, I also oil my scalp, and I make sure to give my scalp a nice massage as well at the same time. In general, if you have itchy or irritated scalp, there are a couple of things I can recommend from my own experience. So anything that would nourish, like oils or shea butter, or if you have dandruff, lavender essential oil within your shampoo, that can all help to make your scalp more healthy, and healthy scalp that is well circulated by blood will essentially result in healthy, long and strong hair. And last but not least, my 7th tip is to do with food. So beauty comes from inside, we already know that, and I would say a healthy, holistic, balanced diet is key, not only to a general healthy appearance, healthy skin, but also to healthy hair. 2 key tips which I read in those magazines when I was as a teenager trying to grow my hair were bananas, because they are high in potassium, which is apparently really good for hair growth, and blueberries, which are also apparently really good for hair growth. So I did that almost religiously back then. I can't really tell you if that had an effect, but I still have both frequently in my diet. So I have almost every day or every other day a banana, and I frequently have blueberries with my breakfast cereal, so that could have an effect. A relatively new dietary trick I can share with you is leafy greens. So this is actually a trick I have learned from a friend of mine, and she has really sparse hair, and I'm not entirely sure where she read about it or where she heard about it, but she heard that leafy greens such as spinach, for example, are really good for hair growth, and you could really see it. So her hair was much stronger, and you could even tell it by her eyebrows. So she gets her eyebrows threaded, and the beautician who threads her eyebrows even noticed. So I also incorporated spinach even more in my diet than I did before. So these were really the 7 tips I would have to grow long and strong hair quickly. Let me know if you found that helpful, or if you have any questions or tips for me in the comments box below. And you can also visit me on Instagram or Twitter, and I would be happy if you enjoyed the video, if you gave it a thumbs up, and I see you in the next video. Happy hair growing. I always thought it was a bit of a and was just a bit of a waste. There are and still achieve hair, which is that was the ruler. So we are talking currently about that much of hair going on. I'm just going to stand up, and also a bit icky. So in protective hair spa, especially for the protective. What did you do to grow your hair? I just woke up one morning and they were like that.